As a leading form of communication in today's society, social media has extended its influence far and wide. What we see as we scroll through our feeds on Instagram are the highlight reels of the lives of everyone we follow. We see what people want us to see: their travels, their clothes, their relationships. But this is, more often than not, an inaccurate representation of the real lives. As seen by two models made famous by Instagram, social media is not a reflection of real life, real happiness, or real relationships. Because as you'll see, nobody's life is perfect.
Asina O'Neill, an 18-year-old Instagram model from the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia, blew up the internet in 2015 when she decided to completely quit social media. Her over 500,000 followers were lost at the click of a button. She quit social media after the realization that it had been defining who she felt she was for too long.
Alexis Ren, an up-and-coming 21-year-old model from Santa Monica, got her first glimpse of fame through Instagram with nearly 10 million followers and has recently spoken out about what her life is like behind the scenes, claiming that what looks like a perfect life is anything but glamorous. Her toned body, she admits, is a result from an eating disorder, and her boyfriend, whose love for her was once genuine, turned into nothing but the means of self-promotion. Looking at the facade of perfection these girls built, it's easy to believe their illusion, but let them tell you their real story.
Social media was my world. It was more than just my career. It consumed my every thought. Every post was a glimpse from my thousands of followers into my perfect life. My toned body, my frequent travels to exotic locations, and my dream wardrobe. I spent my days documenting the amazing things I was doing and seeing. I had it all, or so you thought. It took me too long to realize the career I built for myself on social media was built on one big lie. I was surrounded by all this wealth, all this fame, and all this power, and yet they were all miserable, and I had never been more miserable. I was the girl who had it all, and I just want to tell you that having it all on social media means absolutely nothing to your real life. I was being deceitful, I was lost, I was sick, and I needed serious help. But of course I didn't know that at the time. At the time I thought more money, more of these friends, being thinner, that would solve this internal misery. I began to realize I was living my life in 2D. Everything I did was for more views, for more followers, and for more likes. I would do shoots for hours just to get photos for Instagram. I began to realize that I was no longer making meaningful connections with people. I let myself be defined by numbers, and when you let yourself do that, you let yourself be defined by something that is not pure, that is not real, and that is not love. I did everything in my power to prove to the world that I was important, I was beautiful, and that I was cool. I made my whole day proving to everyone else that I was amazing. But is that life? Proving yourself online, taking pictures just in hopes of getting likes and compliments, getting excited over how many likes you got or how many people follow you. It's not life, and it's not what's making you happy. On November 2nd, 2015, I quit social media for good. My Instagram, my YouTube, and my Twitter, gone forever, and I haven't looked back.
Hi, I'm Alexis Ren. From the outside trying to look in, it may seem like my life is a dream. I travel the world, work out constantly, and have just appeared on my very first big magazine cover. My modeling career is finally starting to take off just as I am finding myself again. However, my journey to self-love has been anything but easy. I overcame each struggle one by one, day by day, trying to keep all the pain bottled up inside me while I maintained my facade of a life lived to the fullest. No one knew the broken girl behind the scenes of each photo or the reasons why she was so broken. I was constantly worrying about my body image for my career on Instagram. On top of the grief I felt from losing my mom to breast cancer a few years ago, it sent me on a downward spiral towards anorexia. I was in a toxic state of mind and I relied on modeling to mask the pain. I gained weight during my travels, and as my modeling agency took notice, they prompted me to work out more. I was my own worst critic. The only sense of relief I had was to be able to monitor my eating and my workout. As my fame grew and my travels became more frequent, the worries I had about my image became an obsession, causing me to eat less and less. It was a vicious cycle when I did eat. I just felt worse, so I didn't want to eat, and I ate less and less. On top of my grief and battle with anorexia, I fell in love. I began what would become a high-profile relationship with another well-known Instagram model I was told I should date, Jay Alvarez. I tried to replace my mom with another person. Jay and I were what seemed to be the perfect couple. At the start, we really did have it all. We were both living out our dreams together, advancing our modeling careers, traveling to exotic locations, and going on adventures together every day. But somewhere along the way, things changed for the worse. Fame changes people, and at some point along the way, Jay decided I was no longer good for his business. The relationship pushed me to my limit, so I broke it off. Throughout all of this, my flawless Instagram lived on. There was no trace of any unhappiness for my followers to see. Instagram only presents a fraction of the life I live.
When should I start? Social media's influence on our generation is beyond our belief. We oftentimes don't even realize the power it has over us. It made Asina doubt her self-worth beyond Instagram. It made Alexis self-conscious to the point of an eating disorder, and it gives its everyday users unrealistic standards of beauty, health, and lifestyle.
Social media is a part of our lives every day, even in class. We're in constant contact with some form of social media on our phones, whether it is Snapchatting our friends, scrolling through Instagram, or watching videos on YouTube. We constantly feel the need to be unplugged in the virtual world.
With every hour spent online, our views of ourselves and others become more and more skewed. Our relationship with the online world can become unhealthy fast. You may be questioning whether or not this applies to you, but as teens of this technological age, it certainly does.
We all have smartphones and computers and use them for various lengths of time every day. If we're honest with ourselves, a majority of the time we spend on our phones and computers is spent on social media. The daily time spent on social networking by internet users worldwide in 2017 is over 2 hours. This is a lot of time spent looking at what other people are doing.
We hope Asina and Alexis's stories serve as a reminder to us always that even though social media may look like real life, that it is not always the case. There's more always to the story that the screen.
Guys, can we do this during lunch tomorrow, or something?
No, that was good.
I think we should just be done.
Okay, I gotta run.